Welcome to The Cynical Developer, the podcast that helps you to improve your development knowledge and career through explaining the latest and greatest in development technology and providing you with what you need to succeed as a developer. This week's topic is reactive versus proactive. What's the difference? Should I be one or the other or both as a developer? Good developers aim to be proactive, but great developers are able to switch between being reactive and proactive, but what does that even mean? So reactive is reacting to the events and the problems rather than anticipating them and taking steps to ensure that the situations don't occur. And this is where I'd say most developers are, maybe because of the way the business is run, but that's traditionally how development departments work. Now, have you ever uttered the words, "It's okay, it's an edge case and probably won't happen, so I won't bother writing the code that fixes that for now"? If you've heard somebody say that or you've said that yourself, then you can be sure that you're reactive. But proactive is taking action before the situation or the crisis occurs by covering all possible outcomes of your code. Unit tests are a great way to prove that your code does everything it needs to in all situations. Being a reactive developer, you solve things as they come up. This can spark creativity and you can focus on the progress rather than optimizing for the millions of users or security threats that aren't there yet. A real downside, though, is when issues come along, you are expected to have some sleepless nights until you resolve them. You just need to get them fixed there and then, and that's it. But as a proactive developer, you solve these issues before they even arise. You generally spend more time on the optimization and the writing of the unit tests for all of your code and every eventuality. And a proactive development makes your software more stable and more secure generally, but you can't really anticipate everything, and you can anticipate the wrong future and end up spending lots of time on something that isn't important or will never really happen. So that's always something to be careful of and watch out for. Being proactive is critical to any developer's success. So let's cover some of the strategies for attaining that developer nirvana where nothing goes wrong. Okay, that's not possible, but you have to aim for the moon, right? So aim for the stars and hit the moon. One of the two. Anyway. So where do you start when you want to become a proactive developer? I'm going to cover off some key points that I think will help you on your journey really to becoming that proactive developer. Now, communication, it's key to being proactive and getting everything done. Writing code is hard, it's complicated. If you're not talking to your team, how do you know that someone else hasn't implemented a similar feature already and you that you could harness or just straight up use their solution for your problem? This is more prevalent to larger projects, but it still stands for all project sizes, as you don't want to be working on the same problem as someone else at the same time. So that's sort of being proactive in just the tasks that are being done. I've worked many places where I've had more than one developer complete the same task because neither of them marked it off in the issue tracker. So proactiveness in your actual day-to-day work and marking off tasks and stuff is a good place to start. Different people have different thought processes and will have different ways to resolve issues that you're looking at. So it could be very beneficial to talk through your task with the developers in your team. And off the back of that, the requirements are critical to really being able to be proactive, because without them, you don't know what you're going to develop. And because you don't know what you're going to develop, you don't know what all the edge cases are, you don't know what all the situations that are going to arise are. Having a clear-cut set of requirements is the difference between a solution that kind of works and a system that does work. But it's not as simple as just having the requirements. You need to understand them. There's no point in me giving you directions to get from your house to my house if I've written them in Chinese and you don't speak Chinese, because you're not going to understand. So make sure you ask the questions if you're not sure, and just keep asking them until you have a full understanding of what you are about to start developing. Don't be afraid to ask questions. It's better to look a little dense at the start and spend more time prepping for actually starting the work than building the full project and totally missing the target. Testing your code. We sort of mentioned very briefly that testing your code is probably the best way to be proactive. Now, we all bang on about writing unit tests, but you can't be a proactive developer without them. How do you know that your code will work? And more importantly, how can you prove your code works without them? Simply, you can't. Not in a way that's quick and easy to demonstrate. You could sit there and click through the UI, but that's going to take hours to show every sort of eventuality. So you've got unit tests and UI tests and all that sort of stuff that can help you to prove your code and your system. And having tests let you spend time thinking about the different eventualities that occur, and then you code for them. And because you've spent that extra time thinking about all the different things that could happen with the data that's coming in and the system and stuff, your system becomes a little bit more stable. And if you want to learn a little bit more about unit testing, then check out episode 10 with Danielle Pozobon. We did an interview together. We're talking about TDD. You should also think like a chef and not a cook. By this I mean, when you're writing your code, write it as if you were going to show it to someone who doesn't really understand code, but can understand elegance and simplicity. Write your code in a clean, precise way. So the less informed developers in the team can look at it, understand what it is, and appreciate the beauty of it, and they understand that it works. And not to sort of be a downer on cooks, but the difference is that, at least for me, a chef spends time in preparing food, whereas a cook will literally just bang something in a microwave, bang something on a hob, and get it out. There's just a level of difference there. Also, getting some skin in the game. If you're not a team player, then you really need to take a hard look at your life and give your head a wobble. No man is an island. You need to be a team player in this game. When you write your code, make sure you're following your team rules. Ensure anyone in the team can pick it up, understand it, maintain it. You're not the only developer most of the time, so utilize those around you. Pass the ball when you're in trouble. Ask for help. Ensure you know what you're doing before you start, and make sure you can prove your solution. Now, thanks again to Joe Zack for this week's topic. It was actually on the show next week where we talk about his side hustles and why you should have at least one side hustle as a developer. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favourite app. Leave a review. Let me know what you want to hear about next time. I've had a great suggestion from Jamie Taylor, who would like to hear about health and sleep for developers. I've improved my health massively over the past year, so we'll get to that topic after Joe's episode. So until next week, thanks for listening to The Cynical Developer. I'm James Stoddart, and this is Reactive versus Proactive. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review on your favourite podcast platform and help The Cynical Developer to grow by increasing its audience. If you have any questions about this or any other episode, then drop us an email, a tweet, or leave a comment on the website, where you can find all the resource links and show notes for each episode.